What's up, everyone? We're playing Zaku II now. I'm going to talk through this while I play live like I've been doing, so bear with me. This is a pretty complicated character. It might be a little bit rough. But anyway, we're going to look to flank. We're going to look to pump some damage to people, get nice and close with them, hold on to our smoke discharger as long as possible, and min-max the crud out of this character. So, well, there you go. Easy kill. And by the way, I got my nice little white skin. Honestly, it looks so cool. Big fan of that game, that character. Skin. Usually don't really want to chase things too much, but being able to secure a kill, which actually, I don't think I can damage him inside of there. That guy should have rezzed him. That's kind of rude of him. But being able to min-max this character is really all what it's about. Just constantly playing angles and pressure. Like, as you can see, I'm playing away from my team. Some of them are going to try and push into me. And when like a Sazabi goes into me like that, it's not really much. Like, this character does not play well into Sazabi, so you don't really want to mess with that. So in that situation, it's like, all right, it's time to go on the other flank, you know? So now we're going on the next flank. Mission accomplished, right? Basically, if they don't know where you are, the game's free low. You hit your shots. If you need to try and use your cooldown there to finish it off, then that's great. Might end up dying here. I want to try and secure that kill, but if they might have gotten a res off on that. Using your ping while playing as this character is also very important, just because you are getting a lot of information a lot. Not missing your cooldown would be pretty cool too, but I wasn't really expecting the radius to not be quite that wide. Thought it was a little bit wider. I thought it was more like Ashimar Punch, which is huge, but no. Again, certain characters you just don't really want to mess with too much. Sazabi, Jim, any of these characters with a shield. If you don't have your ultimate, like if you wasted it like I did, you want to just go ahead and do something else instead. Just because it's not your focus, you know. So just leave. So I just keep pressuring enemies. I'm gonna start working on towards the next objective here because that's where I want to be. But as you can see, AL is just constantly rotating around. And if you're getting like value on a flank angle, then great. But if you're not, then just move on to the next one. Move to another angle. You also don't really want to be taking like fights against enemies at long range like that. As you can see against that Ashimar, I was out of my effective range, and the Ashimar was a lot more into its effective range, so I was kind of getting a little bit of a rough time with that. But again, you think about where they're spawning from. Well, I guess I should, try and take care of this guy a little bit. It can be a bit rough into like Ashimar's turret to engage into it. You want to try and break it, or just break the Ashimar, right? I mean, sorry, Metis. Metis is the word I was looking for. But things like Unicorn are like one of your primary targets. They have a really big hitbox that just likes taking damage from the damage spread of the Zaku gun. And they're big, but they're also a support, and so they don't really have a good matchup against you. Well, yes, they can beat you if they absolutely frag out. They're not usually going to. Try and charge my ult up here and use it. So as you can see, the range isn't too good, but it doesn't matter. That's not your job on this character. Your job is to get nice and close to characters and then absolutely frag them from close range. I'm gonna go ahead and move over to C to make sure that the enemy isn't taking it. Again, this is kind of bad play from both teams, including kind of myself, right? But no one's ready to take that objective. Is a little bit silly. Like, somebody needs to be there, right? Somebody, but in my case it was me, because I was paying attention, right? But like, no one's there, and so we're all just playing away from the objective, and honestly, what's the point, right? If you're not playing on the objective, you're not actually trying to capture the objective, then you're not really doing anything, as a team at least. Like, there's times to go ahead and like not play the exact objective. You don't always have to like so specifically be on the objective, but as a team, somebody needs to be there at least, and really you in general should be focusing on being there as much as you can. Alright everyone, so in that last round the enemies started leaving because we were stomping them so badly, so I'm going to continue the video in this set of gameplay and show Zaku from a little bit of a different perspective here. Also, can I just say how cool this skin is? Like, something about this pure white skin just makes me feel diff. It's honestly really cool. So in this section, there's not like a lot that I want to try and do too much. Like, I'll try and poke a little bit out here, but I'm not going to go too hard that I end up just dying. Like, it's a little bit silly to be this far out. There's not like a good flank angle for me to really be taken care of out here, because it's for us to go past this area is honestly just like overextending. Like, yeah, you know, you get the kill, great, but if we die here, we're basically throwing the fact that we had this really good point behind us that we could be on, like we're doing right now. Like, this is where the choke point matters. I'm able to get this guy. And because of this map not being like really too great for Zaku, I'm now being forced to play like I'm some sort of a pale rider or something right here, and that's just not particularly ideal. Right now though, like the teams push through can be a good time to try and flank, except for the fact that they're now taking the high ground. If they hadn't taken the high ground from us, I could have flanked in there. I could have tried to sneak in there and go for something. But again, here you have the RX-78 Gundam doing the same sort of thing that we were doing, just overextending into an area they shouldn't be. Like, when you try to think about like what is important for you to be in, if you're not like at a point in the game where you understand like positioning so high at an advanced level that you know how far you can push standing in really weird places, which is like a really high skill, like conceptual ability. And so if you're not there yet, then like, oh my gosh. Wow, that was a pretty good shot. But if you're not quite there at a conceptual ability yet, which like very few people are, to be honest, you don't need to be pushing past that area. Just take advantage of the natural choke that they've given you. Don't go walk up. Like, if you are, like, what people will do at a very high level is they will hold aggressively up in higher areas, but it's with the intention to kite back. So they'll hold aggressively, they'll look for frags, they'll look to poke people out, they'll look for like an extra opportunity to force the enemy to like be good enough to like get through the zone essentially, and then they will use that, and then they'll like back up from that when they start getting pushed out of like the area that they when they start getting like pushed out of that area essentially. So as you can see, there's like choke points you can kite back to, right? So say you hold one of the aggressive ones, and then you're like, okay, well, I just lost a bunch of HP, time to kite back here. That would be the time to do that sort of stuff. Like, they're planting here, but honestly, we should only really have like, I don't know, probably me go back and deal with it. Just the ability to hold them off of the objective would be way more valuable than well, you know, tragically ulted, right? It would have been a lot more valuable for us not to do that, just because we still have this fight that we can take out here. We can stop them from getting anywhere near the mega charge, so that we can defuse it. And if we are taking a neutral fight, like a one-on-one or a one-on-two back there, we can delay them just long enough that we can defuse it. It's the only issue is when you get these sort of fights where there are like 6-on-6 around the objective. Those become like near impossible for a discharge. Diffuse? They become really impossible to defuse if you're playing as a defender. So you really have to like try and not let it get like that in the first place. And so that's what we should have done, but by backing up, we gave them that for free. Who's around here? By the way, guys, Marsai is not a sniper. Its range is not particularly good. I know people feel like it is because, you know, its gun looks like that and all that, but it doesn't actually have that capability, so you don't really want to be trying to do it like that. Maybe I can defuse. Maybe our Dom Trooper defuse. I don't really want to do that. I'm gonna body block this guy with my life right here. So in that situation, you know, you might look at me and be like, yo, Dunn, what are you doing, bro? You're gonna get shot by the gym there, by the gym sniper boy. And yes, I totally would have. But what it really is the defuse is so important that it's without a doubt worth me risking my life like that. Like, literally accepting death. I was literally like, all right, kill me. Yeah, I mean, I was strafing a little bit, right? But I was literally accepting my death for the ability to stop that. And it's without a doubt very, very worth it. You just have to like bite the bullet essentially. And that's like the only way to really like properly defuse sometimes in these situations, is just understand that you might get absolutely rolled like that into body block. If you're looking for some more Gundam Evolution videos, then make sure to check out my mobile suit guides. I made one for all original to 14 mobile suits, and I did a Should You Main Guide series also, covering the same mobile suits and talking about whether you should actually main them in Gundam Evolution or not.